What's up, guys and gals? It's time for the latest chapter review for Star Strike It Rich. This is chapter 70, of course, and this one ends us off. This is more of a setup chapter, building us up to a two-round fight. One incorporating not only Nozomi, which I love seeing her fight, because once again, she's technically our main character. You could argue that Hina's the main character, but I would say it's more Nozomi. And then, for the sake of argument, Hina is going to be the follow-up fight. So we're going to get a double fight next chapter or into the next set or sequence of chapters. So this chapter is pretty much just setting ourselves up for exactly how that goes down, plus a little bit of lore. So while the review here might be a little bit short, we are still going to go through this page by page to make sure we do not miss anything. And starting ourselves off, look no further than the first page, reintroducing the toxic Black Widow, Mashiro. Now, she wants payback on Yuzuha. She wants payback, because she's just there like, oh, that Chinese woman, she did meat, you know what I mean? So, of course, she fought against her. Now, our 8th star, Sasaki, is going in here, and she's just like, so you're the one all serial killing all those rich guys, right? Why, my, this should be wonderful. And says, well, I'm going to add you to my collection. You're going to be my new soldier. And, I mean, she's hanging up there. She's strapped by her ankles to the floor and strapped by her arms up to the ceiling. But she even, looks down at her and is just like, you want to die, you little brat? Know your place. And it's like, okay, is there going to be a bit of a power struggle? Of course not, because immediately, just a black panel. And then it's over. It's hypnotic suggestion 101. It happens. It works. And I'm so here for it because I'm like, all right, this I like because it already builds into the fact that this is exactly what happened to Riku and stuff like that. It also happened to Iori. So immediately it can even happen to someone as in her own head as the Black Widow, and boom, she immediately falls under the spell. The artwork for both these two pages is phenomenal. Then immediately she seems to be in a daze, and so she's like, there we go. She's way under. I'll leave the brainwashing to you. Buy the book, all right? And the director of the prison immediately. So she put her under hypnotic suggestion, but she's not the one even bothering. She doesn't even need to be the one to create or do the brainwashing. She says, oh no, all she did, that's not brainwashing, because she's leaving the brainwashing to the head of the prison. She just put her in a position to be able to be brainwashed. It's like, this is interesting. So now here on stage 2, as they say, that was stage 1, so obviously the hypnotic suggestion or getting them in a comatose state. Stage 2 is brainwashing through a mechanical apparatus and drugging. Fair enough. So puts on the mechanical apparatus that obviously likely makes her see a bunch of images. It looks like one of those imager slide machines that they've used in multiple ways before. And then stage 3 is repeat stages 1 and 2 over and over and over. So we've seen this done in fiction many, many times. We've seen this done in a lot of different media, and it's because it would eventually break a person. All you have to do is break their mind, and then they will do whatever you know what I mean? So this is obviously a very cruel, very terrible thing that's happening, but it's happening. So this is where 8 star just wandering the prison, no cares in the world. I'm the overseer star, and this is my playground. And then all of a sudden we get a call from someone named Granny, because outside the halls there in the cell, she's remarked, is that you out there, child? I was like, oh yes, it is, Granny. So immediately she remarks, so are you ready to break yet? Ready to let yourself be brainwashed? So while we immediately established this brainwashing, at least step 1 was able to affect Iori and Riku. And now it's affected the Black Widow very easily. By the sounds of it, the moment we introduce how powerful this is, then we meet someone who is resistant to its effects and says, because she says, I assure you, as much as I would love to, when you get to be my age, there's not much of a brain there left in the first place. So she's just playing it. She's like, no, I'm not going to be brainwashed by you. I'm not playing that game. And this is where she remarks that you're the first person to resist my hypnosis and my brainwashing, And this is supposedly the granny from the one who showed up to introduce the two women from the prison. She was the bodyguard. She was the one like, oh, Hina, you want to play with me, you little brat? So she's been under one of the 8 stars the whole time and is or around her, so she knows what the stars' power. She's well aware. So she's like, oh yeah, you want to go with me? We'll find another time. But she's like, yes, no. So that was the Tuxedo Granny, as we know her to be the entire time. So here she is. She's chained up. She's locked up. And she also has a Anthony Hopkins mask on as well, for whatever reason. And says that it's not shocking for the legendary scapegoat Mary. So she's a special death row inmate. But she wants to add her to her collection. But all she remarks to the 8th star is that, I'm old and I'm sort of set in my ways. So you'll have to settle for keeping me as a handmaid. As in the one who was just delivering, doing the messaging and stuff like that. Like, I'll do this shit for fun to get a breath of fresh air, but yeah, you're not brainwashing me. Now, she's referred to as a legendary revolutionary, Scapegoat Mary. Her name is Kaji Mariko, and she is obviously like, I want to see her fight. I feel like she will end up being top 5 of the verse, no matter what. Like, she is just going to be top 5. She's going to be arguably in the top 5. So anyways, we move on from there. That's the big scene in the prison. We go back to our main characters. We go back to Hana, Nozomi, and Ichika. And they're all talking about everything that happened down in the prison. They're getting the lowdown and stuff like that. It's like, well, the whole prison's been taken over. This isn't good and stuff like that. We can't let this become public knowledge and stuff like that because she's listed in the special file and everything's way too fabricated and everything's way too clean. Like, there's some dirty books, there's secondary books, there's a bunch of stuff going on, right? So that's where Chika basically says, we're keeping this between the 3 of us. I'm not even telling my boss and stuff like that because here's the big deal, is that if we get that woman's prison shut down, it won't really stop anything that's going on there. Plus, we won't have their whereabouts. Plus, our supply of prisoners will go right down the shitter. Like, we need to keep Valkyrie alive, right? So it's like, for right now, we're just going to keep this going. We're going to keep our heads down, and we're going to clear this up. Now, this is immediately where Nozomi and Hana get into it with her and basically said, any one of them could be just like Hina, right? Like, you think she's just going to play ball with us as simple as that without having ulterior motives and stuff? And she's like, yeah, I get it. She's super dangerous. But right now, there is, even as powerful as she might be, and even if she's taken over the prison, it's still a prison. It's still operating like a prison. And there's only so much power and so much sway and so much somebody can do from a prison. The fact that is right now that Hina is far more dangerous. She's got all of those chemical weapons just waiting. Once again, the Bloody Monday storyline of Star Strike It Rich is rearing right now its ugly head, as it were. So, when we go back through this, we're just like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. And it's like, right now we have no reason to stop. We are going to need these ruthless prisoners if we want to beat Hina. And we need to go forward with that. So, right now, this is the ultimate plan. Now, apparently, Hina is sitting in a classroom like a normal schoolgirl. And she's bugged the room and has listened to the entire conversation, and she's just like excited about it, and it's like, oh shit. So then she immediately says, brainwashing, right? Who's been brainwashing in the prison? Well, it might be Chirori, or it could be Rima, who's the second star, the supreme star, aka Dear God. Apparently both of them have very similar brainwashing abilities. So the Dear God thing, I assume that's much more of a cult following idea, like something that like Hina was a part of before. But I think obviously she did hit the nail on the head with the first guess. Now, she wants to find out. She doesn't care about this. She's just super excited. And then Valkyria starts its next event. We jump right away from that. So we get a lot of information there right out of the gate. Some Iron Maidens from Shaman King show up. And I'm like, oh shit, it's to be the Shaman King! Apparently it's the Shaman Queen fight this time because, of course, it's all female. So it's Shaman Queen time. That being said, if Anna shows up, she will kick everybody's ass. So, yeah, that would not be a fair fight. That would not be a fair fight whatsoever. Anna shows up, everybody in the series is cooked. Hina's cooked, First Star's cooked, everybody is cooked. So, our lovely granny shows up once again. Our scapegoat Mary, she shows up again and basically says that both Crusher and Slasher, as well as Bone Shaver Flora, are notorious death row inmates. Much more dangerous than the last one we sent you, being Kuno. I'd pick my combatants wisely. So she's just chilling there. She got the shades back on. She got the suit. She's looking fire, and I'm still calling it right now. One of the top 5 of the verse by the time the series is over. And it's Hina and Nozomi to go after these two. It's like, oh, we're not pulling. It's like, I'd pick your combatants wisely. It's like, yeah, we're sending out our 2 MCs, motherfucker. Let's do this. So, this is where Nozomi's showing up, and she's sweating, but she's ready. And she says, I'll head up the semifinal match. That leaves closing it out. Your job, Hina. And Hina's like, oh, I'm ready for this. I get to see Nozomi fight, then I get to fight. Let's fucking go. Let's do this. Right? So, and that's just where, like, she's just in the prison, and she's just like, oh, good. It's like, well, I'm nice and cozy in my space. I get to watch the fights. I'm super duper happy. And that's the end of the chapter. But I wish they had actually left that one panel out. That would be a criticism for this chapter. I feel like we could have ended off by making this panel bigger and just saying like Nozomi is there, she's chilling, she got a robe on, she's looking badass, and she's just like, alright, I'm going first, Hina. You clean up the next match. Sort of idea. And it's like, alright, yeah, I'll do that. Let's go. And that would have been a really solid way to end the chapter, ending it more on a la-di-da-di-da, or not a joke, but a bit of a, that would be my one real criticism of the chapter, because the chapter flows at a very good pace, you know what I mean? We get a lot of lore, a lot of information. Hina's still bugging the offices and stuff like that, or bugs somebody, so she can hear the entire conversations, all the secret conversations that are going on. Obviously, she's still batshit insane. The Stars plotline is still progressing forward at a reasonable pace. We learn more about our Tuxedo Granny, who is awesome. Once again, calling it now, top 5. And yeah, so lots of information there. Just going to call it right now. This was a really good chapter. And I'm hoping a Nozomi fight is going to have some stellar artwork and some really good choreography. So I'm looking forward to it 100%. But that's it for me, guys. What did you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as always. And we'll see you guys back here next time for Chapter 71 of Star Strike It Rich. Looking forward to it. Hope you guys are too. Have a good one, everyone. See you next time.